Successful people make a habit of what unsuccessful people don't like to do. Warren Buffett told Bloomberg, "Everyone lives by their habits. Some of them affect your health or personal life, but there are also those that directly affect your wallet. More often than not, people don't even notice negative financial habits, which time and again deprive them of any chance of getting rich." Warren Buffett believes that you can't get rid of bad money habits, but you can easily replace them with good ones. This is the only way to increase the amount of money in your life. So if you want to find out more, keep watching this video until the end. This is the main channel on finance. Click the subscribe button now and join the ranks of future millionaires. Warren Buffett is no ordinary billionaire. He's worth about $106 billion, but he lives rather modestly. He still lives in a house he bought for $31,000 in 1957, prefers regular transport to a private business jet, and plays bridge instead of throwing parties. It is this unexpected combination of immense wealth and a simple life that draws the world's interest. Ever since he was a child, Warren Buffett began his journey to becoming considerably rich. At a young age, he was selling Coke, newspapers, magazines, and gum by going door to door to his neighbors. "I like being my own boss, and that's what attracted me to print delivery. I chose my own way, and no one bothered me at 5 or 6 in the morning." He delivered 500 newspapers a day, getting a penny each. Also, one of the planet's top billionaires had always loved to read. His aunt gave him the World Almanac, which he still has with him, and Warren Buffett reads his first book about investments in his father's office. To this day, he devotes 5 to 6 hours a day to reading. Despite the fact the development of Buffett's business fell on the second half of the 20th century, he continues to be active in the new millennium. Besides, Warren tirelessly monitors trends in the market and willingly shares some valuable advice to help people get on the path to enrichment. When it comes to making money, the most important thing is timing. You don't have to be very smart, you just have to have patience, says Warren Buffett. Many people know Warren Buffett as a guru of the investment world, though in fact, he made most of his fortune following the right financial lifestyle. Warren is rightly called a billionaire who clearly understands the value of every dollar. In this video, I want to draw your attention to the money habits which Buffett actively uses, as he said in his interview. I'm sure some people will let this information slip past their ears, but Warren states that a healthy money habit can easily become the foundation of your wealth even if your wallet is empty right now. Habit 1. Smart spending. At first glance, this habit may seem trivial, but according to statistics, more than 65% of people do not know how to spend money properly. Warren Buffett has said it more than once. People tend to think about where to spend the money they haven't earned yet, says Buffett. In this case, Warren advises to evaluate future purchases not in money, but in the number of hours you spend earning that money. Ask yourself, how many hours a month do you work and how much money do you get for it? Calculate how much 1 hour of your work is worth and compare the calculation to the price of the thing you want. If you make $4,000 but want to buy a brand new Tesla for at least $40,000, consider whether it's worth it. Maybe before you start saving up for it, it's better to look for additional sources of income. Also, it's important to note that Buffett encourages people to plan for all income and expenses no matter how much you earn and spend. The problem with $1 million is that it's a lot of money. You have to keep track of it, or it will just disappear and you won't even know where, says Buffett. Habit number 2. Only money works. To make some extra money work, rather than just lying in a piggy bank, you need to know how the investment mechanism works. If you just keep your savings, they diminish as inflation reduces their real purchasing power. To prevent this from happening, the money should at least be transferred to a savings account, the interest on which outpaces inflation. But this is not a tool for earning money. To make money, you need to invest it. But to do this, you have to consider different options for investing and figure out how not to lose your savings. You don't have to invest your money in stocks tomorrow. Start by beginning to understand the mechanism of investing itself, states Buffett. Take the time to learn the basics of investing regularly. You can start by watching the news on the topic every day. Instead of scrolling through Facebook or Instagram in the morning, set aside 10 to 20 minutes for some useful reading. Analyze what happens to stocks every day. By the way, the stock returns of American IT giants like Facebook and Google are 30% a year. Isn't it great that social networks can not only eat up your time but also bring in a lot of money? Future millionaires, before I continue, I want to ask you to support this video and give it a thumbs up. After all, your activity can help more people learn about this useful financial information. Habit number 3. Work in unusual conditions. This advice from Buffett may seem rather strange, although the billionaire himself is an avid fan of assessing global market situations while sitting in McDonald's rather than in his office chair. I always associate money with big problems, which in turn need to be solved. To do that, you always have to be able to look at things from a different angle, says Buffett. A good confirmation of his words is the story connected with Albert Einstein. In 1905, Einstein published 4 scientific papers that changed the foundations of modern physics and our understanding of space, time, and matter. Curiously, he wrote them not in a physics laboratory or his office, but in the Swiss Patent Office. Working in such an environment allowed him not to get hung up on laboratory methods. When your working conditions are different from most people in your field, you can draw unexpected conclusions, combine ideas from different fields. If you read what everyone else reads, you will think like everyone else. And if you think like everyone else, you will not be able to come up with anything new or unique. Be curious, seek out obscure sources, study what no one else has studied. Then your work will be truly valuable to others. Warren Buffett is known for his simple yet profound financial wisdom. He believes that people often spend their money on absolutely stupid and unnecessary things, thus blocking their path to wealth. And by eliminating the following most common financial mistakes, you can dramatically change everything and finally get rich. The first thing all poor people do is neglect personal development. Buffett believes that the best investment you can make today is to invest in yourself, upgrading your skills, getting a quality education. These are the things that can significantly increase your income. Employers are looking for people with knowledge. Often, they do not have time to train. They want to find that person who already knows what to do. And such a person is willing to pay good money. And if you want to be a self-employed person, competence in business and its processes will never be superfluous in creating your own business. Your knowledge and skills are assets that no one can ever take away from you. Try to gather as many of them as you can. Using credit cards is the second mistake that all poor people make. Sure, credit cards can be convenient and useful, especially when there is a desire to buy something and your own funds are not yet sufficient. But the interest rates on credit cards absolutely overshadow any benefits if you forget to pay your debts on time. Just sit down and calculate how much you can actually spend in a year to pay off all your credit card debts. I'm sure you'll be surprised. Warren Buffett recommends cutting out this part of your spending. First, you will stop spending more than you earn, and second, you will save a nice amount of money that you can spend on your education, for example. The next expense of a poor person is the search for the latest technology. New gadgets are always nice. Marketing tricks of the modern world know how to make people want a fresh product. But if you have definitely decided to take the path of enrichment, start to assess your capabilities and the need for a new gadget. It is quite possible that your old gadget is still working perfectly well and does not need to be replaced, so there is no point in spending money on it. Warren Buffett, for example, prefers functional technology. If he sees that the product is practically no different from what he already has, the richest man in the world will not buy it. Visiting bars, restaurants, and pubs. Everybody does it, especially poor people. Spending on eating and drinking out is one of the most problematic areas of a person. If you have decided to become rich, you should forget about this kind of luxury, especially at the stage when you are moving towards financial freedom. Since we are all human beings, socializing and having fun is an important part of our social life. Replace going out with socializing at home. Your emotional well-being won't suffer, but the financial part will be saved.